Is it flipped for you guys? Like,
No, it only does that for you. Isn't that annoying?
so what do you mean? Like it only, so
So
when you
like
guys,
you're seeing it the right way, and but like when you're looking up at your video, like what video is sharing, it looks like for it's flipped and it's not.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you guys say bottom right, I'm like this one, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, awesome. Cut that out of the recording.
I can.
Alrighty.
I'll start our timer too.
Let me mute.
Okay, ready.
Awesome. Cool. Let's go. All right, so let's start with the box on the lower right. So we need to discuss our values that are important to us as being part of a high performing team. So, and just to clarify, these are going to be values, not behaviors. So they're going to be things that are probably not observable. So does anyone have any values that they would like to add?
I have an idea, but I don't know the word like to express it in a value, but like
Okay.
everybody pulling their own weight. I don't know if we want to do that as like being responsible or, but I guess could that be a behavior?
Like equal collaboration.
Yeah,
That could work.
I think collaboration would be a good term for it.
Okay.
Or equal contributions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sounds good to you, Keisha?
I think collab contribution sounds good. Yeah, I think that's an important one because if you have one person kind of sloughing off, then everybody, you know, kind of gets upset about it. And
which I think that's the problem I had with my individual one, as well as I think we will with this. I feel like we all work so well together that these values, it's going to be hard to find one that we're not already meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think it would almost be like if you happened to be in a group that wasn't as good as one.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely lucky that we've all had really good experiences so far.
Right.
All right. So, and then do we have the equal contributions on there? Awesome. All right. Does anyone have another value they would like to add?
I'm thinking maybe we can change the word, but maybe something along the lines of having like having compassion for our group members, like understanding if family events come up or maybe if they get sick or something happens, you know, we all go through our own things and we need to be exactly flexible. That's a good one.
Yeah, flexibility.
Yeah.
I think flexible is great.
I think I also thought of a value word that goes along with Keisha's is dependability.
Yeah, perfect. I think respect as well, having respect for each other, the way we communicate with each other.
Definitely.
I also think professionalism, but also not taking yourselves too seriously. So like fun.
I do have a question though, sorry, with like how many values we list, do we have to do that many bullet points then in the other ones, right? Or is it just kind of like a collective paragraph in the other ones?
I would say that it would probably have to be like if we have 5 values, I think that you should probably have at least like 5 bullet points so that you get the thoughts and feelings and behaviors that correspond to those values.
Each value,
and it would probably be a minimum of like 5 of a minimum of 1 to 1.
Okay. So my question then to go with that is like the equal contributions and the flexibility and like respecting one another. I feel like we do really well, and I don't know what we would write for what's getting in the way. Like what would we write for what's getting in the way for those ones? I don't know. I feel like we've already got all of it, but
We can write things like what has happened to us lately, like sickness, family issues that get in the way of kind of like pulling your own weight or being entirely dependable at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even
that's a-
like internet issues, Skype issues, whatever.
yeah.
So I
That's
think that
right.
you could probably put two of them together then. You could maybe write that like the dependability and the equal contributions and maybe say
Yeah.
something like something along the lines of if you can't demonstrate that you're dependable, then you have a fear that you won't be seen as equally contributing.
Mm.
So yeah, I think if we want to move over to the next box, we can probably, unless everybody wants to add any more values. But
So just to
No,
clarify,
that's
are
good.
we keeping equal contributions and dependability, or are we kind of nesting this one under dependability
I think
for
we can nest them together in the second box for the lower left quadrant for like.
Okay.
Or you could, so we could even just like copy or cut dependability and then copy and paste it next to equal contributions, like say equal contributions and dependability.
Yeah, I think that sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. They're pretty closely related.
would you guys also like to include oh my gosh, the word has just escaped me. Wow, it begins with an A too. We'll move on. I'll
Just go
come back
through
to it.
all of the A's of the English language.
Yeah, start with aardvark, work your way down.
Okay.
Accountability, that's the word.
Oh, accountability. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
We could maybe replace accountability with equal contributions because that's along the lines of what I was thinking of, is like everybody does their part that they're
Yeah.
assigned to do.
That sounds good to me.
Good word.
All right, so after we put in accountability, do we feel ready to move on to the next box?
I do.
I think
Yeah, I
so.
think so.
Okay, so then in this box, this is where we're discussing our thoughts and feelings. And just a reminder that the thoughts are in italics and the feelings are in all caps. And so the example for the individual one that she gave us was that my team members won't like my ideas in the italics, because that was the thought. And then I feel nervous. That was the feeling. That was the one that was in all caps. So if we're doing the first one for accountability and dependability.
So then, yeah, the thought could be that my teammates don't think that I'm doing equal amounts of the work, or like I'm doing less work than everybody else.
Yeah. And then maybe like, I don't know how that would make people like Anna and Ava, I guess you would be the latest ones because you, well, I guess not you, Ava, but Anna, with your not being able to speak, did it make you feel anything? Like, I feel like I would feel anxious.
Yeah. It definitely made me feel like worried and a little bit like ashamed that like I wasn't able to like pull the same amount of weight as everybody else, and that I was kind of like dragging the group behind.
Okay. I'm so sorry you felt that way.
Guys, stop.
That's how it was perceived. Okay, so I like what you said to start, Jenny, and I don't remember now. So my teammates will think I'm not pulling my weight. Yeah, I guess you could write that.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And that makes me feel anxious and ashamed. So then that would be in all caps.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another thought relating to the
I do
thoughts
too,
and
after you.
feelings. All right. So I think sometimes one thing that can arise, especially with like team or group projects, is the thought of like, oh, I already have so much to do, and perhaps feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, I'm trying to think of how. Does that work as like a thought, just writing it out like that?
I think so.
That
Yeah.
really pretty much covered mine because that like even at the beginning of our project, I started a new job and been working so many more hours than I'm used to. And usually I'm like Keisha and I have been in several groups together and I'm pretty dependable and I'm like really on time and I get everything done in the beginning of the week. And now it's like I get everything done on Saturday. And it's like makes me anxious or worried that I'm like, am I gonna be able to finish? Or are they like, Megan, where's your stuff? Like
Yeah.
articles.
So I think along the lines of professionalism, I know that actually this is something that my boss and I have talked about because I like to joke a lot. And sometimes to people that don't know me, it can be construed as unprofessional when I don't necessarily mean it like that. I just try to lighten the mood. And so I think with this group thing, I have been trying not to as much as I want to. And then also though, just kind of getting off topic. Like sometimes if I get off topic, I feel bad about it after because I'm like, oh, I should have stayed on topic, thinking that it's not as professional during our meetings if like I bring up something that has nothing to do with anything about school. So maybe like I feel like for some of the meetings, at least at the start, maybe the thought could be like, if I talk too much, then people will be annoyed that I'm not staying on topic.
Or like wasting time or whatever. I actually think about that a lot with my new job too, where I'm like, gosh, I could get a lot done if I worked alone. But I don't. But like I also understand the importance of having rapport with your coworkers.
Yeah.
So it's a hard balance, I think.
It is. I feel like all of it, and see, I'm getting off topic now. All of my supervision meetings, my boss is always like, just remember to watch the humor, because I like to give people a hard time, but it's always in a joking manner. I'm like, no, I'm working on it.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're not robots, we're humans. You know, like, and at work, there should be, for sure, you shouldn't cross a line, but as long as you're not like offending anyone or disrespecting someone, I think it's okay to lighten the mood, like you were saying, and just making them not feel awkward, like, oh, this person like is like me, like they're, I don't know. I think it's a good thing.
Quick suggestion, Anna. I think that maybe one way we could fix that weird thing that's going on with the extra box.
That was happening with me too.
I think that it would be okay to just, because if I remember right on her example, the anxious and afraid, for example, in that first one it was in the same line. So instead of having a second bullet, the white ones, you could just put anxious and afraid, just anxious and afraid in all caps next to that. Yeah, where you've got your cursor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I remember right, she kind of had it like that, where it was the feeling and then the thought, but I don't think that matters. It's just, I think that it might help with whatever's going on. With
Yeah. See, I think.
Sorry, I forgot to mute. So what was the feeling that we wanted to put for this one?
So it makes me like, I guess I just kind of feel ashamed, I guess, like if I talk too much and I feel like I took too much time away from the actual project or the purpose of the meeting. I don't know if anybody else feels that way or has a different word.
No, I think that's a good word.
Yeah, ashamed is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe embarrassed. Do you feel embarrassed?
I guess it depends on what I talk about. Yeah, maybe. I can't control my mouth.
Well, I'll say that I appreciate it. I like having humor and like fun in my groups. It makes it
Yeah.
Like I want to keep
Yeah.
having a relationship with the people I'm working with outside.
Right, you look forward to the
You
meeting.
do.
Yeah.
You get nervous when people are like really like professional and strict, and you're like, oh my god, like I'm gonna make this person mad.
Yeah.
All right, so then I think we just need one more thought / feeling for respect, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember who it was that specifically said that one, but if you had an example,
I think it was Jenny.
It was me. Yeah, I guess just kind of thinking about what you say, like in messages and everything, before you write the messages. I'm not sure how to like describe that as a thought, but just being mindful of each other and how the messages you might send may look to someone else when you didn't mean it that way.
so do you feel like maybe the thought could be that you tiptoe around what you're gonna say, which could maybe the feeling then could be that you feel, I just keep going back to anxious, but I feel like we should come up with a different word.
Eggshells, like walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Like
maybe
judged.
maybe you
you'll
feel like you have to
judged.
be guarded on like, yeah, like you might be judged for what you say or if it's taken.
Maybe cautious to speak.
Cautious, yeah.
Cautious, that's a good one.
That's just a good one.
Yeah, so teammates might misconstrue what I've said, which makes me feel cautious. Yeah, maybe like you can speak out.
Cautious or guarded, maybe too.
Mm-hmm.
But I like cautious.
Because it's true, like since we normally text with each other, well, we use the Google Hangout. When you read something, it's not really the same as, because you don't have the enunciations of certain words, and someone may read it in a way that's offensive, and like, no, I didn't mean it. I was meaning it as a happy text or something.
And I think as well, because I'm British and you guys are all American, like that's something that weighs on my mind as well, because like you might not understand certain like ways that I kind of speak.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
I didn't either. That's a good one. All right, so I think we're good then for the lower left.
Yeah.
I think so too.
By the way, we've got 3 minutes till we've hit 20 minutes, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just checking that we work a little too
Okay.
together.
Okay, so let's get a move on here. We're gonna start with the upper left quadrant, which is what do you do to move away from or under the control of the bottom left stuff? So the way I'm interpreting it is because of, we'll take the first example, my teammates will think I am not pulling my weight, therefore I feel anxious and afraid. What behavior does that cause me to do? How will I act because I feel anxious and afraid?
I think probably a major, maybe like we could say like problem behavior would be like hesitate to contribute. If you're concerned about being respectful and you have those negative feelings about it.
Yeah. And I would even say maybe one that for myself, even that I agree to more than what I could actually do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, true.
So out of anxiousness and being afraid, I'm like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Because I don't want to be seen as like, I can't or I won't. So I say yes. And then if you get to that point where you're like, oh, wait, no, I can't.
Yeah, you put too much on your plate.
Yeah.
And you can handle. Perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good.
I think that on the aspect of the professionalism, sometimes I can completely avoid it, but then I am worried that I'm not really connecting with other group members, not necessarily you, but just in past groups, because I don't want to seem unprofessional. And so then I just kind of, Natalia, like you said, just kind of be robotic so that I don't irritate anybody.
Yeah.
And I think for the teammates might misconstrued what I've said, so it makes me more cautious. I would feel like that would make you more reserved. Maybe it'll make you more quiet. Maybe you don't want to share as much because you're like, I don't want to potentially say something that would offend someone. So you're more withdrawn.
Yeah.
I think that maybe the first point of what Megan said could kind of also go with flexibility, because you're wanting to seem so flexible that you're just going to keep saying yes to everything, even if you might not be able to do it. So I feel like those two can kind of go together.
Yeah. And with the flexibility one, we kind of were talking about being flexible, yeah, with other members not being able to do something or whatever. So I'm thinking,
Oh, right.
yeah, that's where
Like maybe
you
you,
want to keep it with the flexibility of being able to take on what other people couldn't, which I guess, yeah, it's still connected. Yeah.
yeah, or maybe you like maybe Anna, instead of telling us that she wasn't feeling well, she just kept it to herself because she didn't want to. And so then you're not getting your like personal individual needs met for your
Right.
health because you're too concerned about keeping everybody else happy.
Yeah.
Right. So they kind of compromise that work-life balance.
Nice job summarizing, Anna.
That last quadrant.
Okay, so what could you be seen doing to move towards who or what is important? So here we're going to decide how to kind of combat those fears and overcome what's stopping us from reaching our values.
I think like we kind of already handle it with the accountability and dependability, is like the clear expectations every meeting, and then the checking in throughout the week just to make sure everybody is able to handle it.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helps with and I feel like everybody, but Jenny, you especially, because you're always texting like, is there anything anybody needs help with?
Yeah.
But then maybe you're doing too much and then you're like, oh no, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's true.
So much pressure watching you type, I feel.
Do it right.
All right, so then the flexibility.
You guys can just like see the brain stop and think.
Let's see, flexibility.
Maybe being more vocal about if we need help.
Yeah, I feel like just
Something.
maybe we could do specific check-ins that say like,
Yeah.
how are you dealing? Well, I don't know. Jenny kind of already does that with us, but specific check-ins for how are we being flexible and like how can we help each other, and maybe just like a check-in of like, how are you feeling with your workload right now or something.
Yeah. I think also too, it helps at like the time of checking in to also offer the other option, just so that like Thursday when people weren't feeling well, and then it right away was like, okay, well, we can just switch the date then, instead of being like, well, you better feel better by Thursday, you know. So like always having that second option there so that people know that they can change it if they need to.
Yeah, offering options I think is definitely important.
Yeah, that would be a good, offering options. It's one of the strategies we do with clients.
Right.
Yeah, give choices. It's like one of the number one things we do at the school.
What time are we at?
We passed the 20-minute mark.
Okay. Hopefully she hasn't deducted
2 minutes. I think that it should be okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. We could even like check on, so yeah, the respectable or the respect one, I would say we can try to be more vulnerable in what we're saying maybe, and say, hey, I'm worried it'll come across this way, but I want to like let you guys know this, or say what you need to say and then check after and say, did that make anyone feel uncomfortable? Or
Right.
maybe just vocalize like, I'm just worried that someone could have taken this wrong, or
So
Mhm.
do you
being more
feel like we could
vulnerable
say,
about your thoughts.
we solicit questions and opinions
Yeah.
from our team members?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Simple words.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hmm.
And then professionalism, I feel like I think that we all do a pretty good job of like, if somebody does get a little off topic, we like chit chat, but then there's always somebody to be like, all right, so now like back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to word
Yeah.
that though. Like, I feel like nobody really takes offense to it. It's not like you're getting offended. You're just like, okay, back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So redirection.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the purpose of this, is that like, hey, this is what we do with our kids.
Mhm.
Well, sometimes we refer back to the assignment or perhaps our meeting notes. So maybe replacement behavior would kind of be having something, an assignment, something physical we can refer to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, I think that's good. End timer.
Did we want to let Jenny do a summary real quick?
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
You're like, hurry, quick. Let's get to it. She'll be
Do
fine.
I need to summarize, or should we just? Do I need to summarize? Do you think, or should we just? Because we've.
I mean,
all
I feel like
put in our-
there was enough contribution from everybody that it would be.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I think
Let's
it's
be
fine.
flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.